I I I, th-
Yeah.
I think the thing that's important to me right now is to actually have artists in the conversation in terms of like designing these systems, designing AI, designing. And so for me, I think one thing that I was like thinking of lately is like, well, how can I actually be part of these conversations? You know, how can I actually help design, these systems? And I think that's sort of like inspired by my journey into like 3D and little bit of coding in there too. Um, because I feel like if we're going to move forward, I mean, like a good example would be like social media, right? Where
Yeah.
a lot of the conversation around designing it is just limited to like the coders and you know I mean, like Spotify is actually made by someone who is not a musician, who's not an artist. Of course, they wouldn't care
Hmm.
that much about
Yeah.
music or art. And so I feel like, in terms of AI, VR, and all these technologies that we're developing, I feel like the artist voice, or people who are in philosophy, like fields, they have to be in that conversation.
Yeah.
They have to be. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
else we're just going to make systems that would just mimic whatever has been done before.
That's true. I feel like it would lack a certain dimension to it if it's just overrun by a lot of the people that are in the interest of business and like in the interest of like
Yeah.
control and power.
Right.
You'll need to sort of like have a lot of other types of people involved in the evolution of AI, or yeah, to sort of get the dialogue like more well rounded, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that the people behind these technologies are typically not those who are idealizing uh, liberation from our own body or liberation from the system. It's rather people who are creating these technologies to sort of give people the sense of something new, but is actually just a replication of the old system in many
Mm-hmm.
ways. And it's not these
Mhm.
technologies themselves that I feel are bad, because it just really depends on the reflection of who has created it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
So
and I
true.
feel like a lot of
I
these like
agree.
people who have designed these like systems, right? I think I would give them the benefit of the doubt, and in that they
mhm,
probably had good intentions starting. I mean, Mark
mhm,
Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
um, I think the start of Facebook is really he just wants to connect people, or just want to meet other people. So that was a good intention. Of course, it evolved into something else, but I feel like there's a tendency for that.
Yeah. There was an
mhm.
opportunity and then money was involved. So
Yeah,
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 of course people wanna sort of like sustain
yeah,
themselves. But yeah, it's like, have you seen those documentaries about how people from Facebook that worked from Facebook or used to work there? They're like, they feel like almost their reactions are like, "Oh, we created a
yeah,
monster."
yeah, yeah,
Almost
Mhm.
all of them. It's
yeah,
crazy,
Mhm.
and it makes me think how many projects like that are being made, and how many projects like that, or how many people like that have already quit. They've been replaced with people that actually support the trajectory of Facebook now or Google
yeah,
now.
yeah. I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
documentary, The Social Dilemma, essentially sort of like,
Yeah, I love
yeah,
that one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and it's really interesting because these technologies, social media, for example, is run by like all these like really smart algorithms, like really like high technology like algorithms, and it's pointed at us, the users, extracting data, extracting like our every movement, and sort of like selling us all these like different things to keep us online,